When it comes to the regional production houses of the UK, the production house of Sheffield Theatres is arguably one of the most important and influential. With its 3 theatres located just metres from each other, and its recently acquired 4th space around the corner, this is the largest regional theatre complex outside of London. It's also been the birthplace of some of UK theatre's recent theatrical hits. This is part 1 of our journey into the world of Sheffield Theatres, and we begin at the largest of its venues. Welcome to the Lyceum Theatre.
Opened in October 1897 and designed by renowned theatre designer W.G.R. Sprague, the Lyceum is the only surviving complete auditorium solely designed by Sprague outside of London. A number of theatres stood on the site from 1893 to 1897, and like some of its predecessors, the Lyceum was almost met with its own devastating fate. Just 2 years after opening, the theatre suffered from a serious fire. Whilst the auditorium was untouched, the stage was completely destroyed and was later rebuilt. After its restoration, the Lyceum went on to become one of the leading theatres in Sheffield until the 1960s, when it was closed and transformed into a bingo hall in 1968. The theatre also had a brief tenure as a music venue where the ornate auditorium was painted black. By 1972, its use as a bingo hall and music venue proved unsuccessful, and the owners submitted a planning application for the demolition of the theatre. Thanks to campaigning by the Hallamshire Historic Building Society, the theatre was saved and granted Grade 2 star listed status, which includes the stage itself. The theatre was kept dark into the 1980s and sadly fell into a state of disrepair.
The 1980s were a tough time for Sheffield. The closure of the steel mills led to a period of industrial decline, and the city was yearning for regeneration. Their blessing would come in 1991 as the city played host to the World Student Games, which at the time was the largest sporting event hosted in the UK since the Summer Olympics of 1948. New sporting and infrastructure projects were built all across the city, and part of that regeneration included the full renovation of the Lyceum to coincide with the cultural events associated with the Games. Also part of that regeneration was the plans for a civic square to be built in front of the building. It was originally going to be called Theatre Square, but it would go on to be called Tudor Square, named after the old Tudor house that was on this site in the late 1700s.
The square is the largest concentration of theatres in the UK outside of London. The £12 million restoration started in 1988 and was completed in 1990. And despite the state of disrepair the theatre was in, the black paint from the theatre's music venue days ended up helping in the preservation of the theatre as it saved the original plasterwork. The opening production at the Lyceum in 1990 was The Pirates of Penzance, starring Paul Nicholas. A further £2 million refurbishment took place in 2014, providing us with the theatre and facilities we see today. The main entrance from Tudor Square itself welcomes you into the Lyceum box office, which is open prior to shows. The circular lobby, which is located under the corner dome of the Lyceum, was the original theatre entrance for the stalls and was restored to its 1897 Louis XIV design. This was an opulent entrance for the wealthy patrons attending the theatre back in the day. Now replaced by the theatre's cloakroom was where the crush bar was situated, named after the crushed ice used for what was an oyster bar. There are 3 separate front-of-house areas on the 3 levels of the theatre, each with its own bar space in a style inspired by Art Deco meets the late 1980s. The impressive staircase was built as part of the theatre's extension, and there's a lift for level access. A suite kiosk is found on the ground floor, where there's also this lowered seating area nicknamed the Jacuzzi. For our price comparison, correct at the time of recording, ice creams are provided by our cow Molly and cost £3.50 across all the Sheffield Theatres venues. Ticket prices start from £15 and vary on productions. There are a number of membership options and concession rates, as well as Live for Five, where 16 to 26-year-olds can purchase theatre tickets for selected performances for just £5. As well as supporting Sheffield Theatre's work, with a Prestige membership, you'll be able to access the McDonald Room when attending a show at the Lyceum. It is located on the circle floor of the Rotunda. The theatre is a traditional proscenium arch house which welcomes touring productions as well as staging Sheffield Theatre's annual pantomime. There's a total audience capacity of 1,077, with 432 seats in the stalls, with up to 6 wheelchair spaces, 324 seats in the circle, and 321 seats in the balcony. Sprague didn't want there to be pillars in the circle or balcony, which would obstruct the audience's view of the stage. The support for these sections are held up at the edges thanks to a cantilever system. It led to a narrow auditorium, and with the advancement of technology today, a system of this kind would be able to hold up a much wider circle and balcony. The theatre's safety curtain was repainted during the 1980s renovation by legendary theatre interior designer Claire Ferraby. It's painted in a Renaissance-style design, with the setting said to be that of the 19th century view of the countryside from the site the theatre was built upon. The decoration and features of the Lyceum can truly take your breath away. The Lyceum stage is 8.6 metres wide and 15 metres deep. The stage includes 80 flybars, which are all manually operated. The fly tower is double the height of the auditorium, providing the perfect space to store, as well as flying in and out of sets, props, and backdrops. Substage is an orchestra pit, which can be expanded to as far as row E in the stalls. The floor that rows A to E are on is supported via a hydraulic press. Backstage, there are 16 dressing rooms of various sizes over 3 levels. The dressing rooms range from single to ensemble occupancies. Dressing room 13 is a company manager's office. Some of the dressing rooms are also named after important people from the area, including Yorkshire cricketers, marking the foundation of the Yorkshire County Cricket Club at the then adjacent Adelphi Hotel, and Damien Williams, Sheffield Theatre's pantomime dame. All the levels of the backstage areas are connected by a lift. As well as the Lyceum being a touring house welcoming national and international productions, the Tanya Moiseiwitsch Playhouse is a hybrid touring and producing house. Located inside the Crucible, down the corridor from the cloakroom, it was originally called the Studio Theatre. It was renamed in 2022 in honour of the Crucible's designer. It is a fully flexible black box studio space with a maximum capacity of 400 seats. With seating configured in any way the production desires, seating is unallocated, as no two productions in the space are the same. There are seats on tiers 1 and 2, giving you a unique perspective on the space. Tier 2 also gives you a view onto the Playhouse's grid. Typically, the space measures 8.7 metres by 8.7 metres. Among the work performed at the Playhouse, since 1984 it has been one of the settings for Music in the Round, the leading national producer of chamber music. Led by their resident group Ensemble 360, each season presents concerts and the Sheffield Chamber Music Festival, bringing people and music closer together. There's a small stage dock and 2 dressing rooms backstage with a toilet and shower room between them, specifically for the Playhouse. There's plenty to see at both the Playhouse and the Lyceum. Head over to the theatre's website in the description below to discover what's on in these magical spaces. And before my outro, the statue atop of the dome of the Lyceum is of the Roman god Mercury. Also known by the statue's nickname Freddie, Mercury overlooks Tudor Square and completes the exterior of this stunning theatre.
Thank you for joining me on this tour of the Lyceum Theatre. If you're ever in Sheffield or South Yorkshire, make sure you come on down, see a show and support your local theatre. My huge thanks to everyone at the Lyceum for showing me around today, and this is just part 1 of our tour of Sheffield Theatres, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel as we get to explore the Crucible in part 2. And as we get to explore more theatres around the UK, my next question to you is, which theatre should I visit next? Let me know in the comments below. I'm David Burchhardt, and I'll see you on the next stage.